One of the good people, one of the fighters in Utah is Dr. Kirk Moore.
Yes.
Which you talked about. I want you to talk about his story and what's going on with him right now, because not a lot of people know about this.
Yeah, this is interesting too, because this is huge. So basically, you got this doctor, awesome doctor, close friend of mine. During everything going on in 2020, you had people who needed a transplant. Literally, one of his patients needed a transplant, but guess what? You don't take their shot, you can't get the transplant.
The COVID jab, specifically, right?
Yep. So he's got and many if you didn't have the shot, you couldn't get your job. I mean, there was like literally people's lives were being held hostage if they didn't have it. Well, patients started coming to him and say, "Look, this goes against my conscience to get this." People like us. So he starts giving people saline shots instead of help so that these one woman could get her transplant. He helped 800 to 1,000 people, none of whom ever filed a complaint, all who deeply appreciated him, okay? Well, federal government's now coming after him.
Mm-hmm. And, started with the Biden administration, correct?
Started with the Biden administration, okay. But guess what? And this is the big thing. Let's talk about Pam Bondi. Mm-hmm. We have, and this is, you're going to see how this all ties together now. Pam Bondi, who was all hot about, we put her in office, we put Trump because they were going to go after Epstein. Because again, this country is being run by pedophiles who are protecting each other. And that's what the Epstein thing is. Because how can we allow this stuff to go on? This stuff matters to people, right? If kids are being trafficked and abused, especially by politicians, if this underbelly we're talking about is real, and that's why Epstein matters, because it says it's real. And if it isn't real, why was he arrested? And if there was nothing there, why kill himself? Mm-hmm. If he didn't do anything, but all of a sudden,
which everyone believes happens, right, by the way.
Right. But apparently something was there. There was substance to it. And all of a sudden now, Pam Bondi and Trump say there's nothing there. Well, guess what just happened today with Pam? What will come out in the news today?
Today? You're saying actually today? Okay.
Today this will come
yesterday.
out.
This is coming out tomorrow. Okay. But yeah.
Pam Bondi, the prosecuting Kirk Moore, went to Pam Bondi and said, should we dismiss this? Pam Bondi allegedly, and this is coming out today, said no. She is the reason they're going after him for 35 years.
So the DOJ is the one prosecuting this?
Yes. And wow. Pam Bondi specifically was, according to prosecution, again, all this is all coming out in the media, and people are going to dig into this, but sure. I'm just giving you guys this is like breaking before it even breaks, because I'm very close to this. But no, Pam Bondi's right in the middle of all this. She is the reason. She could have shut this down.
Wow.
And here's what's crazy, okay? Kirk Moore, not only did he do these things to help people, he was honoring his Hippocratic oath to do no harm.
Right.
This is a guy who has 2 kids. Those 2 kids lost their mother, his wife, in 2019. And you have a DOJ and Pam Bondi wanting to lock this guy up for 35 years and leave those kids fatherless and parentless. Meanwhile,
35 years. That's
35 years.
Wow.
Meanwhile, you've got people running right here in Utah. We don't need to go to California. We don't need to go all around all the rest of the country. The criminals and the crime and how much, just all the people who are just wrecking havoc in this country running free. Let's just talk about our own backyard. Go down to Pioneer Park. My son-in-law is a police officer there. And one of the things, we because obviously I'm tuned into all the corruption here. He says, Jason, you know what? Here's the thing. We don't even arrest these people anymore. Why? Because they let them right back on the streets. So we will let these people run free, breaking literally every type of crime you can imagine. And we've got Pam Bondi and our U.S. justice system trying to wreck these children's lives and put Dr. Moore behind bars. Are you freaking kidding me?
So what are the, just from your perspective, I'm sure, and you're really close to it, so you've talked to maybe attorneys and things like that. What do the odds look like? Does it look good for him, or do you think that he is going to face jail time ultimately?
I think that depends on the people. I think it depends on us. I think if we stand up, if we fight, if we come together like we did against the situation with Mike Lee's, the land bill, like we've done on several other issues at certain times, if we just could have in Utah, half of the people care enough about Kirk Moore, half the amount that showed up for the No Kings, just half. Think of how many people showed up for No Kings. If half the people who cared about freedom, a group that's half the size of No Kings would show up at the courthouse tomorrow, this will already be filmed by then, he wins. The pressure will be on the justice. Too many eyeballs. Too much. It goes national. Too much pressure.
Yeah.
But if the people sit back and we say, "Oh, this sucks and it's horrible," and we don't get in the fight, he's already been in court several times. Most times I've actually been in there with him, and I've seen the injustice. He was locked up for 23 days a few months ago. No, I've seen the injustice. They want to make an example of him. So it depends on us. So it's, in a sense, Dr. Kirk Moore is on trial, but in my mind, it's we the people who are on trial. Will we stand and fight against someone who stood and fought for us, against something we all know is unjust, or will we sit back and let him get hung?
Yeah, I think you make a good point about the fact that it's kind of on us. This is actually something I said on one of your shows on your channel. Sometimes, especially going back to the left-right not really being a real thing, is we talk about how there might be some sort of civil war in our country. Yeah. There might be some sort of break between the right and the left. And people will talk literally, I mean, I've seen it online. They will talk about how they're going to go fight people in California because they're liberals. And my thing is, it's like, you're willing to go to war with people in your own country, but you're not willing to go to this, for example. You're not willing to just go to a courthouse and make your message be heard. That's a little crazy to me. Like, yeah. and I don't think anyone's actually, people these days don't have the stones to actually go fight in a civil war. So I don't think they're being literal, but the fact that people are even talking about that as a solution, whereas they could do so much less, but almost counterintuitively, it's kind of more actually showing up to something, talking about what you believe, making your voice heard. For some reason, it's like harder for people to do that than say they're going to go shoot their neighbor because they're liberal.
Well, yeah, because that's because that plays to the enemy's plan, right? And let's talk, and I mean the real enemy, who again the battle of light and dark, because the enemy loves division. The best way to destroy someone is through contention, and so we are naturally motivated to fight each other, because again, contention comes from the enemy, and that's why they play off this. But what people need to realize is who the real enemy is. It's not the the guy with purple hair who thinks he's a girl or that's not the enemy. The enemy is the person who screwed up his head in the first place.
Agreed. 100%.
That's what we stop thinking, is stop focusing on that guy who's been screwed up. Start focusing on who's the one who's screwing these people
totally up. And
it's been the media, that's the establishment, that's the elite. And that's where we need to stop getting focused on fighting each other and all pull back and say, wait a minute, who's the puppet master that's doing this? Because on the right, and I hope some of you, I know this will resonate with some of your viewers. This is the danger on the right, is we're being pushed, manipulated into an extreme. Like, I've got friends on the right who are saying Hitler's all of a sudden okay and Hitler's good, and who are becoming radicalized on the right. Mm-hmm. That's coming from above, whether people recognize it or not. That's all coming from above. Like, we are being manipulated. The same way the left is being manipulated that way, the right is being manipulated to this, and that's what's behind the Christian nationalist movement. Mm-hmm. Is the white Christian nationalist movement is this level of real racism coming back and feeling justified. And again, it's part of it is the natural swing in the pendulum, but the real part of it is the psyop to push us even further to an extreme, which will again do this. So again, let's stop focusing on each other and start focusing on the puppet masters. And once people start thinking that way, left, right, all of us, and we start realizing that the real enemy is not the people showing up at the No Kings protest, it's the people who are manipulating all of us to think that way. Because this is all a recent phenomenon. And what people need it doesn't take a lot of thinking to think, where did all this thinking come from? Universities, the media. All you got to do is a very basic level thinking, who's funding it? Who's funding the media, the stuff from there? And all of a sudden you start to realize Soros, it's these Marxists who are behind it all. And the end goal for them is destroy this country, take away our sovereignty, and get us all living like slaves. And that's what the 2030 agenda is all about. That's what it all comes down to. And at the root of it all, at the root of everything, is what the true enemy that we're fighting, which is, darkness, is after. is he hates freedom. He hates light. He hates agency. And what he wants is to rule and reign in a world where he is in complete control. And that Neuralink and the smart cities and everything that's coming will allow him to it will reduce people's agency to stop, to think, and to act for themselves.